to build one Canadian economy, not 13 economies. By Canada Day, Mr. Speaker, we will table a bill which seeks to eliminate all federal barriers to internal trade. We also commit to working with provinces and territories in order to fast-track projects that are in the national interest. Mr. Speaker, that's how we intend to build the strongest economy in the G7.
Canada is in an economic crisis without any plan because the Liberals shut this place down for half the year to avoid accountability. And now the Prime Minister says no budget before fall. With record-high food bank usage, a rise in the number of those using those food banks that are fully employed, a rise in mortgage delinquencies, TD Bank now also predicts that over 100,000 Canadian jobs will be lost due to a looming recession. Given all of this information, how is it even possible the Liberals won't table a budget this spring?
L'honorable ministre des Finances et du Revenu national.
I welcome the question from my colleague, Mr. Speaker. We're being very clear that there will be a budget in early fall of this year, Mr. Speaker. But in the meantime, why we should celebrate, and we just see now that the Conservatives are going to support our motion, Mr. Speaker. Now this is a good thing, Mr. Speaker. Now Canadians will see that in this House of Commons, we need to do things for them. The first thing that we presented, that we promised and we're delivering, is a tax cut for the middle class, Mr. Speaker. 22 million Canadians will having a tax cut, Mr. Speaker. This is what we've been elected for. We're going to fight for Canadians. Every day, Mr. Speaker, is a good day to fight for Canadians.
The honourable member for Calgary East.
The Prime Minister sloganeered on a plan, yet refuses to tell anyone what that plan is. He's overseeing the longest period without a budget since the 1960s outside of COVID. Uncertainty about spending and their debt that they're going to accumulate scares away investors, small businesses, and Canadians during a cost of living crisis. We know that this Prime Minister is going to spend more than Justin Trudeau. Why won't they be clear with Canadians and let them know how much more inflation and interest rates are going to go up because of all their spending?
Hear, hear. L'honorable ministre de...
The Honourable Minister of Industry
et ministre responsable de Développement économique Canada.
and Economic Development Canada for Quebec's regions.
Justified tariffs by the U.S. against Canadians are making Canadians' lives much more unaffordable. That's why we're cutting taxes. As the Minister of Finance just mentioned, this new government is cutting taxes on the middle class, making sure also that we're cutting the carbon tax and cutting the GST on first-time homebuyers. We will create the strongest and fastest growing economy of the G7. This is the utmost priority of our government, and we will deliver. Thank you.
The honourable member for Newmarket Aurora.
The Prime Minister claimed being the man with a plan. Very well. Where is it? After 14 years in finance, I have learned that if you don't know your numbers, you're out. We know the Prime Minister is committed to spending more than Justin Trudeau, but he won't even tell Canadians how much. TD reported that Canada is nearing a two-quarter recession with up to 100,000 job losses this fall. So I have one simple question. With the economic storm clouds moving in, how is it possible not to have a budget this spring?
The Honourable Minister of Finance and National Revenue.
Speaker, I have one simple answer. We have a plan, and it's a plan in action, Mr. Speaker. I welcome this member to the House of Commons. But the plan, Mr. Speaker, is simple. We're going to cut tax for 22 million Canadians, Mr. Speaker. And in fact, the leader of the Conservatives just said outside the House that he's going to support our plan. So that, Mr. Speaker, is a step forward. Not only we're going to do that, we're going to remove GST for first-time home buyers for a house up to $1 million. And, Mr. Speaker, we're going to remove the consumer carbon price from law, Mr. Speaker. This is a plan. This is delivering for Canadians. This is building a better economy for all.
The honourable member for Labrador.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. It's an honour for me to rise in this House as a representative for a region that forms part of Canada's north, beautiful Labrador. We must never take our sovereignty and security in the Arctic for granted. As foreign threats to the region's increase and the impacts of climate change intensify, it is imperative that Canada work in close partnership with Indigenous and Northern communities. Can the Minister of Northern and Arctic Affairs inform this House on the government strategy for the region? Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
The Honourable Minister for Northern Affairs.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I rise today with a deep sense of responsibility, gratitude, and humility. I stand here as a proud Anishinaabe, Innu, and Métis woman representing Churchill, Keewatin-Niukiski riding. Ensuring a Canada that is strong and free and defending the Arctic and the people living there is a top priority for this new government. We will strengthen the presence of the Canadian Armed Forces, detect and deter early warnings with radar coverage, and invest in the necessary housing and infrastructure. And we'll do this all by working with Indigenous and Northern partners every step of the way.
The Honourable Member for Central Newfoundland.
Mr. Speaker, in yesterday's throne speech, the Prime Minister reaffirmed his commitment to persecute the fishing and aquaculture industries with Liberal policy to close down 30% of fishing grounds by 2030. The 30 by 30 Marine Protected Areas agenda was developed by the United Nations in conjunction with foreign activists, and this government signed it. So how can the Minister of Fisheries support shutting down the productivity of the fishing industry and the aquaculture industry that means so much to coastal communities throughout Canada, given the impact that it'll have on our very own province?
The Honourable Minister of Fisheries.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, and I want to thank the people of St. John's East for continuing to put their trust in me, and I also want to congratulate my colleague from across the aisle. This government continues to understand the cultural and the economic importance of the fisheries. And I can tell you that I am very humbled and proud to be responsible for this file. And I will also assure the people of Canada and certainly my colleague across the aisle that the fisheries remains an important ministry in the government, and I will do all that I can to ensure that harvesters, industry, and communities are protected.
The Honourable Member for Vancouver Kingsway.
Mr. Speaker, Canada's unemployment rate has surged to 6.9%, the highest in 8 years outside the pandemic. Alarmingly, youth unemployment is more than double that. And now, the OECD is warning that Trump's trade war will cost Canada even more jobs this year. Mr. Speaker, Canadians are worried about their futures. What immediate steps will this government take to bring the jobless rate down and protect Canadian workers who will be hurt by Donald Trump's tariffs?
Okay, the Honourable Member, the Honourable Minister for Jobs and Families and Minister responsible for the Federal Economic Development Agency for Northern Ontario.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. It's an honour to rise and represent Thunder Bay Superior North for a fourth term in this House of Commons. This government is very focused on protecting workers and in making sure that youth and indeed workers of all ages have the skills and abilities to thrive as our economy transitions. I will work closely with my partners, indeed members across this House, to make sure that all Canadians have an opportunity to thrive as we see economic change.
And that completes our very first question period of the 45th Parliament. I wish to draw the attention of members to the presence in the gallery of the Honourable Rob Lance, Premier of Prince Edward Island. No points of order, so we'll go to I wish to inform the House that the volume of earpieces will now be reset. We'll now go to routine proceedings. But first, I would like to table couple of documents. I'd like to table the Canadian Human Rights Commission 2024 annual report. In French too. Conformément au paragraphe 61.4.
Pursuant to 61.4. Pursuant to the Canadian Human Rights Act, the report on the Canadian Human Rights Commission for the year 2024. Pursuant to Standing Order 108.3e, this report is deemed to have been permanently referred to the Standing Committee on Justice and Human Rights.
J'ai l'honneur également de déposer sur le...
I have the honour to lay upon the table a list of the members to serve in this Parliament, received by the Clerk of the House from and certified under the hand of the Chief Electoral Officer of Canada.
Okay, we're doing...
Mr. John, Mr. John has a point of order.
Okay, I didn't say...